Gear up as Cash Miller and a team of accomplished guests steer you on an enlightening voyage filled with valuable tips, fresh insights, and effective strategies. Welcome to Marketing Masters, the Agency Power Show.
Hello, everyone. This is Cash Miller. I'm the host of Marketing Masters and the CEO of Titan Digital. Today, I've got Julia Pearson with me. She is with Stratus Creative Marketing, and we're going to be talking about how to automate lead generation. Because automation has been one of those things that over the years, it's like it became a buzzword, of how you can automate all of these things, and it's like gotten, pretty ridiculous. But Julia, it's great to have you on. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your agency, and what you guys focus on.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me, Cash. I'm excited. So everybody, I am the CEO, founder of Stratus Creative Marketing. I live in Salt Lake City, Utah. I moved here from Wisconsin way back when because I wanted to get rid of the snow. I am not into snow by any means. But then I moved into a mountain, so that ship sailed. And so now I live here. I have a remote team of about 11 to 12 employees at any one time. And our goal and mission is to help businesses improve their relationship with social media. Every person that I talk to, and Cash, you know this as well as I do, every time you talk to a business owner, social media is somewhere on their to-do list, and it's usually towards the bottom because it's one of these things that people are like, I know that I need it, but I don't want to do it, and it feels like really time-consuming. And so our goal is really to help people, businesses of all sizes, improve their relationship. We've got DIY options, we have done-for-you options, but yeah. So, and a little bit about me, like I said, live in Salt Lake City. I have a 15-month-old daughter who I spend all of my non-working hours running around afterwards. She just learned how to climb out of the dog door yesterday. So now she can go outside whenever she needs to with the dogs. So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, my kids are a little bit older. We have 3 dogs at home, and one of them's really big. He's 90-pound, like hybrid, husky. And he has one by one, he's managing to bust our fence, like the individual boards. And so we have another husky that we just we have another husky we just got. She's a puppy. And so he busted the board yesterday and she got out. So she was the one.
Oh my gosh. We also have 3 dogs, which I joke is like too many. My husband and I just can't agree on which ones to get rid of. So one of ours ran away just this weekend too. And so my husband had to drive around. And everybody, I live on like the side of a mountain. And so like you can't necessarily run after the dog because if that dog goes uphill, you are not going to run as fast as he will. So you have to get into the car to go get him. So
yeah, we were lucky. The dog came around to the front. Yeah. And was like, hey,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Can I come back in? I just wanted in the house. I didn't want to be in the back. So
good dog training recommendations because these dogs here need some training. So,
okay. So let's talk, when we're talking lead generation and ways to go about it. And, over the last few years, last decade, really, there has been so much buzz about how to, that you can automate lead generation. Now, a lot of everything takes work though. If you want to automate it, you have to get it all set up. You have to have certain things. So what areas do you focus on, to automate things? Let's give the audience kind of an example of what it looks like first.
Yeah. When I talk about lead generation, there's all sorts of ways you can generate leads. We all know this, like we can generate leads through networking events. We can do it through Google Ads. We can do it through social media. We can do it through cold calling. Like there's so many ways to generate leads. One of my favorite ways and what we'll be talking about today, and I think one of the easiest ways to automate is when you use social media ads. And so, like I said, our goal is to help people improve their relationship with social media. One of the ways to do that is to get people results. People are so tired of putting time and money and effort into social media and not getting results. Lead generation is one of the best ways that you can see ROI on social media if you do it well. So obviously there's ways to automate all sorts of different kinds of lead generation. But some of them are more nuanced. Like you can only do so much automation of cold calling, or else you sound like a terrible person and people are annoyed with you. So that's where like you can't automate them all well, but one that you can automate well is your social media ads. And so a really great example, to go back to your question, is using ads. There's like a specific lead generation form on your social media ads that then you can set up. Okay, I'm going to trade a resource for an email, and then I'm going to start following up via email. And so really our company, we've helped several clients do this. We do this for ourselves actually also, is we have like people going through this funnel that eventually leads them to booking a phone call with our salesperson. So that's kind of like a high level overview of like, what does this process look like and how do we automate it? But what's awesome is like the first touch that we have with people that is not scalable is that phone call. Everything else is scalable. So we can start getting these leads pouring in. And so that's also a nuance for this conversation. Everybody has a different definition of where your lead becomes a lead. We're talking about like the top of the funnel. And they become a warmer and warmer lead as they go through that funnel.
Another thing, so you mentioned social media is automated. One of the things that's always, for quite a while now, has been automated too is email marketing. Cold email has become a huge thing, for companies to send out. And the average number of touches, I think, is up to 8, to be able to get somebody to actually contact you back. So email has been one of those things that could be, very automated. And because you can set multiple messages and, and you can also set actions. And when we talk automation, it's also, so this is the, top of the funnel. I have a bunch of people that, are on the list I want to contact. I send out the first email. Depending on the action they take is what triggers the next piece. For email, it's, sequencing. So, if you do the first one, okay, they clicked on, like they didn't open it. Okay, then they get a second follow-up email to see if we can get them to open it first. Or they did open it, okay, but they didn't click on anything, so they get this different email, so on, depending on the action. With social media, are you able to do that kind of stuff?
Totally. So like one of the things, so we actually have something that we came up with that we call the lead generation machine. It has a lame name because I cannot come up with a different one, but I love the name of it because it works like a machine. Like it's like all these little gears that you can twist. Email is one of them actually. And so we're working in a combination of social media, organic social media ads, and email, because in my opinion, successful lead generation has 3 steps. There is the attract step, there is the connect step, and then there's the growth, like the sales and the growth step. And so our ads work as this attract step. Like we want to attract people. We're going out and finding them. I mean, Cash, you and I both know it is creepy how much Facebook knows about our lives, Facebook/Meta/Instagram. And so we can find those perfect clients for ourselves, for our customers. Like we can find those people. So that's our first thing, is we're going to go out and find people using the ads. The second step is this like nurturing step. And we use social media, organic social media, to do that. Email also works as nurture too. So like some of them like flow in between stages, but this next step, this nurture step, we want people to, after they find us, maybe they've never heard of us before, they find us through the ads, they start following us on social media. That is where people start to know, like, and trust you as the expert. And so we have that running. And then the third step is because with those ads, we've traded, so the lead generation ads specifically trade an email for a resource. Then they go onto our email list and we start nurturing them through email. And we also start selling them through email. So more and more I'm finding with my clients and with even our business, email is the moneymaker. But how do we get people to that? And so like when I say email is the moneymaker, that's where people are going to buy stuff. People will still buy stuff through social media. I'm not saying they won't. But email, you have this captive audience and you're showing up over and over and over again. And you have less competition, because on social media, you're competing with other businesses, but you're also competing against the algorithm. People may not open your email, but at least you can guarantee, like at least now you can't guarantee, but you can 90% guarantee that you will end up in their email inbox. And so how we use automation with those is that we have our ads running automated. Like that's the only way you can run ads is to automate them. Social media, we will actually create content and then like kind of set it and forget it because we know that it is good. And then all we're doing, the non-automated part is what like the non-automated part is the answering comments, finding people in DMs, having these organic conversations. But at least I know that if I do not have time to do that during the week, I know that I have content going out that's going to be serving my people no matter what. And then the last part is we do automate all of our emails. So we'll usually write either like a sales funnel, which is like a 5 email sequence that gets people to book an appointment or make a purchase. We'll also like work on nurturing people through nurture emails. We set those up ahead of time and we send those out. And so then that way, this marketing machine, your ads, your social media, and your email is all working together even while you sleep. Like that's like what's cool about it is like, I don't know when you're scrolling social media, but sometimes I have an infant. So sometimes I'm scrolling social at 4 a.m. and I can still go and become a lead in somebody else's funnel without them actually having to even be awake.
So you're using like, when you're automating things, you're combining systems. Email is being used as sort of the ultimate, but if you have nobody to email, so you're using social media and different hooks to be able to build, up the number of people that are now contacts and such to be able to, get to, so you're using one system to get them over to another system. You're using it to generate, that top of funnel contact information that you need to be able to move it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I used to do, before we did ads, I used to do a lot of public speaking. Then COVID happened and like opportunities were not the same anymore. And they aren't the same. They look different now. Like the business ecosystem has changed. And so one of the things that we started realizing is like, hey, we actually have the same people on our email list. We're just emailing the same people all the time. Like, how do we get more people on these email lists? And then that's where these other lead generation opportunities came to happen, especially with ads, because we started realizing, okay, like let's grow the email list. Sometimes my clients come to me and we can have an excellent email strategy, but their email list is already burnt out because previously they had a bad email strategy or whatever it might be. And so we just need to get new, fresh eyes on the email list because also people's seasons change. Like, Cash, you have kids who are older. Like if you join like an email list when you were in the thick of it with a toddler, 20 years later, you don't need their products anymore. And so how are we going to find people when they need us. And so we have to have a way to find the people. And that's one of the reasons I love using these lead generating ads, because everybody, if you are not familiar with Meta's ads space, there is an objective that you can pick where you're saying, hey, on social media, I want to trade an email for a resource. And so what's cool is people don't have to leave their platform. And Facebook and Instagram will auto-fill their email for you. So it makes it simple and easy for people to give you their email. You're not taking them away. They can go back to their scrolling. Yeah. But you're in essence telling Facebook, I don't want to pay for anything but emails. Only charge me when I get an email.
That's interesting. So you're using it in this where you're using the ad, you're driving them to basically Facebook's form. Yeah. And then from there, they do the submission, but of course it's auto-filling everything. So it's not any work on the other person's behalf. And then you've got that hooked up so you can drive, you give them the freebie or whatever that you're, some sort of a download or something, that they're getting, but then they're also taking that information and you've got it hooked up to like an email client and you're putting that in there, whatever email marketing system, now you're building your list and you're only paying when you get their email address.
Right. So I like to equate it almost like a gumball machine, because once you have this in place, you'll know how much a new lead costs you. So I have a really great resource that's 101 social media prompts. It's for all of the people who are DIYing their social media. I know that I can get a new email for 78 cents on the dollar. So then all I have to do is work retroactively, work backwards and say, okay, I want 78 emails. I'm going to have to spend $100 to do that. Yeah. And so, wait, no, I did that math wrong. No, just do your math right. Don't listen to me when it comes to math.
You were right.
But I want, all right, well, let's do it.
You were wrong. It's 100 emails for $78.
Yeah.
At 78 cents each.
Right. There you go. That's the better math. Listen to Cash when it comes to math, everybody. Don't listen to me. But that's what's cool is we have a client who they sell garment bags. So that's what they do. And so we know that to protect fine items like cashmere and stuff like that. And so we have this guide that's how to take care of your cashmere sweater. So it's adjacent to their services. We know that people who love cashmere are going to be the ones who download that. We know that people will download that for $3 a pop. So I can take that to my client and say, well, how many people do you want on your email list? Yeah. The issue with that is before we all get confused, that doesn't mean that they'll convert. So you have to know okay, what's the rate of conversion? So there is a separate step, but we can at least treat it like a gumball machine and say, okay, I put in X amount of dollars and I will get X amount of gumballs. And so we can do that with emails with this system.
Yeah, that's a good return. I like the fact that in this case, you can figure out the exact cost. I mean, so you can set your goals based on that. So once you've figured out, it takes a little experimentation. You're not going to know your exact cost until you do it. But once you do it, once you have it in place, you can say, okay, you want this much more. It's going to cost you X amount of dollars. And so it's very scalable and it does become automated because you figure out which ads work and such.
Totally.
Yeah. And it's a multi-step system.
Yeah, a really good example. So you're right, Cash. It might take tweaking. It might take experimenting before you know what your results are going to be. We had one client who he is developing an app for budgeting. And so he wanted people on his list so that when he launched, he had people who were already in that frame of mind who he could launch to. And so we developed, I think it was 3 ways to budget easy, like 3 ways to budget better. And it was like this PDF handout. I swear people were downloading it and it was costing us $6 a lead, which was too much, like in my estimation. So all we did, Cash, and this was what's cool, and people, if you try this, people don't want to talk about budgeting. Like that's like the bottom line. And so we actually kept the same content, changed the title, and said 3 ways to save money faster. 3 ways to grow your savings account. 3 ways to save $100 every month. Things like that, people would download. They didn't want to talk about budgeting. They wanted to talk about more money in their pockets. They did not want to talk about budgeting. We kept the information the same. So we call that a title test. So for all of you who want to try this, give it a shot. You can totally do it yourself, but just don't give up. We were able to get those leads down from $6 to $2. And so suddenly he was getting 3 times more the leads, all because we had just changed the title. So it's really cool. I am mildly obsessed with like experimenting like that because it is really cool when you can get your ROI down, get your return on your investment like at a better and more optimal rate. So
that's an interesting. So like everybody thinks that everything's like, when you say automate, it's going to be on autopilot, and it is, but it isn't. You need to be willing to test. But you can see the payoff. You go from a $6 per lead down to a $2 per lead number. I mean, that's, and we often talk with people and it's like, look, our job as marketers, it's not about reducing your budget or anything like that. It's about getting more for your budget. So if you could take those leads and make them 3 times the number, well, that's good. And that takes experimentation though to make that happen.
Right. Right. Yeah. And what's cool about it is that once we had figured that out, it can be on autopilot. Like we would check it every day. Or if we were on like once it was pretty stable, we wouldn't even have to check it every day, to be quite honest. But once it was stable, we could see like, okay, like it's pretty much like a flat line. Sometimes it'll go down, but very minimal dips and very minimal peaks and valleys. Then it was on autopilot, and we let that same one run for like probably a year because it was doing so well. Do I advise like a year? Like, no, like you might have to trade it out depending on how big your audience is. But this was like target all of the United States who has money, which is everybody. So like that was a huge audience that we could let run for a long time.
Yeah, that's the other thing to consider with audiences and such too. The bigger the audience, the less you're going to necessarily have to change the ads. You're able to tweak more so than start from scratch with a brand new ad for it. Because you still got a lot of people that have never seen it.
Yeah. Yep. And you're still generating a lot of leads, and then you can focus on like the other parts of your marketing plan that need a little bit more attention.
Yeah. So the whole idea with automating is like, because social media, a lot of people say, it doesn't necessarily work for their type of business, but you're being more creative about it in the fact that we're giving them something. We're using it to collect what we need. We're not trying to sell them anything necessarily. We're just getting the right people. It's a top of the funnel thing. We're getting the right people onto our list, and then we're able to use the lists for follow-up and such, because now we know that these people have an interest because they downloaded whatever it was we were offering.
Yeah, exactly. Like if they have expressed interest, like we have to remember that giving our email away costs us a little bit. Like when I give my email to a store at the end of a checkout process, I know that they're going to send me promotional items. And so when we give our email away, we are showing a company that, hey, I am invested. Like I am interested. Like I am, in a way, I want to be sold to. Like, do I want a massive number of emails that annoy the heck out of me? No, don't do that.
Yeah.
But like, we are giving ourselves because we are expressing like hard interest. Like, it's not just like liking a post on social media, like, oh, that's cute. We're saying like, oh, I'm willing to give you my email because you have something that I want.
Yeah. Let's talk for a second, because you mentioned, yes, I gave you my email. Don't bombard me, because we've, seen advertisers and stuff. I've got one that we started shopping at the Boot Barn, and now I got a nice discount to give away my email. Okay. So the first time I shopped there, but now I swear I get an email every single day that I don't open. I end up deleting. So what is a good number for this follow-up?
Oh gosh, I have no idea. So like, I'm going to put that out there. Like, who even knows? I think that it's a very individual thing. Like, there are probably like better email marketing experts out there who can answer to that. I think it depends on your business. Like, if you are like an e-commerce product business, like you might have to send out more just to stay at top of mind. If you're a service-based business, I would say quality is better than quantity. I usually like our service-based businesses to be sending out an email a week. I think that that's like a really good cadence to keep people top of mind. Usually like our service-based businesses are in the business of building relationships with people because it's a longer sales cycle. And so because of that, I want them to be showing up, but not every day, because that is annoying. I also will say, so a great example is like my husband had to start using a CPAP. And so because of his CPAP, he started buying through a supplier called CPAP.com. My husband only has to buy CPAP stuff like every quarter, but he stays on that email list because every month they run a sale. And so he wants, like, when he needs new stuff, he wants to get it on sale. Like, and so he will stay on that email list, and just like you with Boot Barn, we'll just delete all of the emails until he's ready to buy. And so that's the other thing is, for those of you who are sending out emails, don't be discouraged by your open rates necessarily, because they could be negligible. Like, they might not matter, to be quite frank. And part of it is because Apple has like just distorted all of our stats for us with their new Apple Opens and Apple marketing privacy. But like, also people will stay on the list for when they need it. And so I think that, and don't be discouraged by unsubscribes, because then you don't, like, if they have chosen to unsubscribe, they don't need you. And like, that's okay. Like, that's why we have to keep on filling the list with new people.
So, what would be like your final like takeaways if you're going to automate? What's your best advice for business owners that are considering, how do you, to get a system like this in place?
So if you decide, okay, like, I'm going to do something like this, I want to create my own version of a lead generation machine. What I would say is you have to start, you have to decide, like, are you going to do this fast and like turn it all on, or do you need to do it slow and do it in phases? So if you're going to do it fast, like, what I would do is figure out, okay, what is going to be my lead generator? Like, what resource am I going to be trading for people's emails? Try to make that something that is going to attract people, like, give them what they want, not what they need. And so then they'll be more likely to give you what you want, which is their email. But the reason I say, like, you have to decide if you're going to do it fast or slow is because if you start collecting emails but are not sending emails, you are wasting your money. Like, you are wasting your money on ads if you are not going to be following up with emails. So if you have the ability, the manpower, the team to do it fast, turn on those ads, get those emails out. If you do not have that ability, start with your emails. Start with like your current list. Start building up like your ability to send emails out on a frequent basis. I would say minimum send 2 emails a month. Try to get that going and then add in your ads, because if you do the ads without the emails, you will be wasting your money.
Yeah. So you want to make sure that you're prepared with the other pieces. You know, if you can collect the emails, but emails are about timeliness. So you want to be prepared to start marketing immediately, because otherwise you're going to be forgotten about really quick. And then if you pick it up later, that's, you know, a month or 2 down the road, they've forgotten who you are, what they downloaded, everything, you know, so you're starting, you may have their email, but you're starting from scratch. They have no awareness again of you. You know, it's very limited.
Exactly. And then the other word of caution I would give people is also make sure you have something going out on organic social media, even if it's proof of life. I think there's a place for proof of life marketing, like just for people to like know that you are still alive as a business. If you're posting once or twice a week, even if you're doing that, like I will not take clients on cash if they are not doing something on organic social media, because or else your ads will also be wasting money, because people might assume that you're a scam. And so if you're just pushing ads out and you're not doing the organic in tandem, so you do kind of, that's why you have to decide, like, am I going to do this am I all in going to do this fast? Or do I need to like put in some of these other foundations of email and social media before I launch those lead gen ads?
Yeah, definitely. Like with marketing in general, you do need to be all in. Yeah. Like whatever you're going to do, you know, take it seriously, be invested in it, because that's a lot of the thing that holds people back. They don't end up all in on it. This has been great, Julia. Totally. Like, how would people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so our website is Stratos Creative Marketing. It's STRATOS creativemarketing.com. So head over there. If you go to our website /resources, I actually have a resource for everybody related to this. It's 21 lead generation ideas that we've either used with clients or seen that they've worked. And so if you're like, Julia, I have no idea where to even start on lead generation, that is where I would start. Is it also a lead generator? Yes, it is in fact. So I will ask you for your email. But head over to stratoscreativemarketing.com /resources. If you want to find us on social media, our social is at Stratos Creative. We are most active on Instagram, and I personally am at LinkedIn with Julia Block Pearson.
Okay. Well, Julia, it's been great having you. It's a very insightful conversation.
Thank you, Cash.
My name is Cash Miller. I'm the host of Marketing Masters, the CEO of Titan Digital. We've been talking about how to automate your lead generation, and you want to look at it from multiple directions. Like say, you can use things like social media as a way to fill the funnel, and then you use email marketing to actually help you draw in the business that you're looking for. So don't think of any one particular system being going to be able to do all of it for you. And regardless of the type of business, you can put these types of systems together for yourself, or you can find an expert to help you do it. So it's been great. Thank you for joining us.